So how much money is too much money? There was a moment in time early in me and Kimberly's marriage where I felt like we had hit this spot, okay, because Kimberly was running her own business and I was running my own business, and it was, wow. Kimberly had lost a few clients right when Corey was born, and my business took a left. It wasn't good. And so when all that happened, it was crazy because prior to that moment, it felt like we were making so much that it was like it was never going to run out. That was the mentality that we approached it. So the idea wasn't even, I mean, I was doing contract labor in addition to my business, so that contract labor supplemented my income like dramatically. And so that contract labor in addition to my growing business and Kimberly's business, like we just saw things like there was no limit, but we didn't actually have like true perspective of where to take my business or to take hers. Like we were missing that. And we just kept seeing things as like, well, there was so much coming in that it was like, oh, we're solid, right? We're good. Until it stopped. And at that moment that it stopped was all of a sudden that like, oh man, like we had that, did we make too much money? Like, did we make too much? And it wasn't that like there was a such thing as too much. There was just a perspective of too much without actually holding it, like holding that value of cash flow opposed to cash. It's like, oh, having cash but not having cash flow is a problem, because cash eventually runs out. Cash is merely a tool to get through life and to handle the things you want to do, to grow and develop, to take care of your family, to handle bills. And, you know, it's like, it's a tool. That's what it is. It's a tool. And so if you don't have a continuous flow of cash, doesn't matter how much cash you have, because cash can eventually run out, especially with things like inflation. You know, your family grows, you want to do bigger and better things with your family, all these different perspectives. And as these things happen, all of a sudden that cash slowly depletes. But a lot of young people have that mentality of, you know, oh, well, I got this money and, you know, it's going to be good forever. And see, we didn't have the perspective that the money wouldn't run out. We had just the perspective that the job wasn't going to run out. And it just kind of did. So because we took it from the wrong approach of, oh, well, I don't have to worry about later because now I'm doing so well. No, you got to constantly be building for tomorrow. And ultimately, the biggest goal you want, if you want financial freedom, yeah, you need to get out of debt. Debt weighs you down, but that's a whole nother topic. What you need is cash flow. You need an influx of resources. You need that to not stop. And you need to know that no matter how big or how small, that it keeps adapting to whatever the environment is, so that way that influx of resources never stops. Because once it stops, and it can, or once it slows down, and it will, it's going to stifle your situation. It's going to put you in a bind. It's going to put you in a place that you didn't ever think you were going to be, because you were just doing so well for a hot minute. And truth be told, we're doing far better now than we ever were back then. But there was just that moment we just felt like things were just so easy, you know? And the reality is, and that sounds so arrogant and so ugly because so many people struggle in life. But see, me and Kimberly, we went through so many things growing up through our lives. And so for that brief moment where things were so easy, we just kind of indulged in that moment. We were just like, this is the greatest thing ever. It had never been that easy before that moment. So when it just got so easy, we took our eye off the prize for a second. We took our eye off of the future, and we just kind of saw everything as it was, and that they were just going to stay as they were. So how much money is too much money? How much money is too much money? Your amount of money becomes too much when you stop paying attention to it. I don't care if you're making $100, you're making $1,000, you're making $1 million, whatever it is. I mean, there's How many stories have we heard about these actors who were making millions of dollars per movie? How many football players, basketball players who made millions of dollars every year? And then you can easily sit back on your couch and just be like, yeah, my life is hard. These people are just stupid because they got millions and millions and millions of dollars and they have nothing to show for it. And now they're trying to figure life out. It's like, no. That's the problem. It can happen to them just as easy as it can happen to you, and it can happen to you just as easy as it can happen to them. There's not an amount of money that it's not a number that makes it too much. You get to a point where your amount of money is too much when you stop paying attention to it. When you think you're too comfortable, you're too content, everything's just a little too easy, that you take your eye off of it and you're like, wait, where'd my money go? It bounced because you weren't paying attention. You got to keep your eye. Develop, as I've said multiple times recently, develop a relationship with your money. Your money, you need to have a close relationship with your finances, so that way you care exactly what your finances are doing at any given moment. You know what's being spent. You know what's being deducted. There's an app now. There's an app that you can download that apparently, like, people subscribe to different things and they forget that they've subscribed to it. So there's an app now that says, I could save you hundreds of dollars if you download this app, and this app will weed through your phone and see which other apps and subscriptions you're paying for that you're not using anymore. That's a weird thing, that it can totally look at all your stuff, but it's not the first app that can do that. But the crazy thing is that they actually have testimonials to people saving hundreds of dollars, because they sign up for some subscription that's $6, sign up for another one that's $15, sign up for another one that's $20, sign up for another one that's $10, and they sign up for a dozen of these subscriptions, and they just forget, because it's an automatic draft, it's automatic payout, it comes right out of their account, and they just forget that they've even set these things up. So it just deducts money from your account for things you're not even using, and you forget because you're not watching your bank account and knowing what's going on. Let's start paying attention, let's start doing better, and let's start caring about where our money's at. I've learned a lot through trial and error. Learn from my mistakes. Stay tuned in. Be sure you subscribe and share this video with somebody else. Share it with one of your friends, your cousin, your sister, your homeboy, your neighbor, your whoever. Send it to somebody. Share this video. We got to all learn and grow and do better together. All right, it's your boy. I'm out.